Hey, it's Pete from 21st Century Prepper. Tonight, joining me is Skip.
Good evening.
Hopefully we can record here well because the internet is going kind of wacky in places. So let's hope we can keep our connection. Tonight's podcast, we're just going to discuss some of our observations that we've made about our preps, where we're a little short-sighted, where my plans for the future are going to be, at least some of them. It's been a real eye-opener for me, and definitely for my wife. She was tolerant, let's say, of my prepping, as long as we used stuff. That's why I deal with canned good and dry goods and that kind of stuff, because she wants to be able to use it instead of just sit on it. So then we can just replenish it as we use it. Right. So it's been a real eye-opener for her. She's been, every day she blows off 4 or 5 questions, and not specifically to me, but stuff that she's thinking through herself.
And hypotheticals,
yeah, hypotheticals, and it's I can literally see the gears turning in her head when she's talking to me. I'm like, and she ends up going, "You probably already thought of this stuff, haven't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, mostly." But it's still, I'm seeing issues with what I've got and where we are. Obviously, none of us. I planned to be in our home, but I did not plan for our business still to be open.
Right.
So that's throwing a little bit of a monkey wrench into the plans.
Right.
Although we have not, I mentioned it, I think yesterday in a message to you guys, we have not touched our food anywhere where I thought we would. So the food situation is a lot slower than I thought. And so my guesstimate of 5 to 6 months worth of food is probably now about 8,
right,
maybe 9. Now, granted, the grocery stores are still open. We're not buying a whole lot there other than junk food. I made the trip to Walmart. Minnesota went and locked down or stay at home on Friday night at 11:59 p.m. So Saturday morning. And so Friday afternoon, I made a run to Walmart just out of curiosity to see what they were like. I totally expected to find very little on the shelf, but I found a lot more than I thought.
You're lucky there.
Yeah, and they had probably 20 people working. They had obviously just got in a truck. They were working the load. Toilet paper was still pretty much out. They had a few boxes of 4-pack generic stuff that was on the shelf that they probably normally don't carry.
You are not getting toilet paper here. As soon as it hits the shelves, it's gone. Even with the limits.
My brother was up this way this weekend. They have a lake place, and they went to a small grocery store in another town, and he said they were full of everything. They had toilet paper, they had paper towels, they had bleach. They did not have Lysol wipes.
Right.
But I'm guessing they didn't carry much anyway.
Probably, yeah.
It's a small little dinky grocery store. It's literally maybe the size of my house. Maybe a little bit. If you took our main floor and our basement and put them on the same level, it's maybe 2,000 square feet grocery store. Maybe 3. It's tiny. One person can run the damn thing.
Yeah, I got you.
At least where I'm used to working. He said everything was on the shelf except the wipes, which they probably only had a spot for a case of wipes on the shelf anyway. So
it's so bad here that this morning in my local townships Facebook group, we have our little towns have groups. I don't know if yours are like that or not, but they were posting who had and who didn't have toilet paper this morning. It was like Aldi had gotten in a load. So it was the first thing in the morning I saw, Aldi has toilet paper, limit 2 per customer. So, people are still freaking going crazy over that shit here.
Yeah. It's that I'm not sure about how much we got. I would guess 3 or 4 months worth, maybe. But again, we're still our business. I'm not going to mention our business.
Right.
It's none of anybody's business what our business is in our home. but we're using toilet paper on a daily basis in that business, and so that's one of those things. It's like, oh, we didn't expect this to be happening this way. We figured, shut down, you're shut down, and we're not interacting with anybody, but we're still interacting with people. Yeah, so our food is a lot more, I think is going to get stretched a lot farther than I thought, which is cool. But other stuff, now granted, it's still available, and we're essential tier 2 here in Minnesota, so we can go about it. Anybody can go to the grocery store, obviously.
Right, that's what I hear.
So I don't know why they're making such a big deal of the tiers and all that stuff, but we can still obviously get to the grocery store, I can drive 25 miles to Walmart if I wanted to, I guess, and get the normal stuff. I am going to up our preps on like laundry detergent, cleaning supplies, obviously, that kind of stuff. I'm going to...
I burned through soda so fast, like way faster than I thought.
I need to get off of it. That's the thing with me. I need to. The freaking prices are unbelievable.
Well,
I remember, granted, it was 20 years ago, but I remember buying, or 15, 20 years ago, I remember buying cases of Mountain Dew for $5.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't drink that much. That's why I didn't stock that much. But now that I'm home all day, every day, it's like I'm going through it.
Yeah. Or I need to start making my own root beer or something. I don't know.
That and the little flavor packs for water, because I can only drink just plain water for so damn long, and them Kool-Aid flavor packs are freaking great. They're just
I've been going through the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, buddy.
I feel like I'm a teenager. I feel like I'm back in college. I used to make Kool-Aid. I lived with two other guys in a house, and they're like, we hate making Kool-Aid. You make better Kool-Aid than we do for some reason. I don't know why. So we're going to take like $10 off your rent if you make the Kool-Aid. I'm like, okay,
all right.
You go buy the Kool-Aid and the sugar, and I'll make it. And they're like, sure. So I got like $10 off my rent because I make Kool-Aid. We made like 2 jugs a day, man. So and definitely. I went and blew over $100 mostly on crap at Walmart on Friday.
Yeah, so
it was bad.
Not Friday, but like a week ago we went to the store. We didn't go to Walmart because I knew that Walmart had nothing, just because of the pictures that I've seen on the groups and stuff like that. So there's like this one grocery store down in the resort area that I knew was kind of out of the way. So I kind of rolled the dice, and I told her, I said, this is our shot. They either have it stuff or they don't. And they had enough. They didn't have, you could buy chicken and ground and beef. It might not be the beef you wanted, but you could get it. You know what I mean?
See, we got no problem with the meat department.
Oh, it's
at Walmart.
Empty.
It was totally stocked, and the meat departments in the 2 grocery stores in town here are completely stocked.
They showed pictures yesterday. Purdue, I live in chicken country, and so Purdue is here, and all the big ones. Purdue had a drive up at I think it was at the stadium, the minor league baseball stadium, where they basically had a couple truckloads of chicken, and that you could buy at cost. And the line was like a mile long to get chicken.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
that's crazy, offering it at cost.
Yeah. Well, they do that once or twice a year around here. Mount Air does also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and of course we have a locker plant in town, and there's locker plants. And for the people who don't know what a locker plant is like a butcher shop around here. They're all over Minnesota. This part of Minnesota has almost every small town over. Well, I can't even say over 200 people, because there's some that have 50 people, and there's a locker plant in town. But there are, I don't know, 25 of them in like the closest 30 towns, right? There's locker plant after locker plant after locker plant, and they're all just jamming it right now. I'm related through marriage to a gentleman who owns one that's not too far away, and then his siblings and other family members, I think together they own like 12 or 15 of them, maybe, in this whole entire chunk of this area here. And he said they're just going nuts.
Yeah, best we could do is Dollar General here.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Back to what we're missing. One of the things my wife brought up was what if the stores weren't open, you know? And that obviously that's something we planned for, but it still kind of caught me off guard a little bit. We're not doing as much laundry as we were before, you know. So,
right.
But it, you know, if I want to go spend an arm and a leg at the grocery store for a bottle of Tide, or else I want to drive the 20 miles and save a few bucks just on the Tide and whatever else I want to get there, you know, to go to Walmart, I'll be able to do that. But if we couldn't do that, yeah, we're definitely short on stuff like that. And I need to, and I've been thinking about that forever. You know, I want to have a minimum of these many bottles of laundry detergent and this many bottles of bleach and ammonia and you know, spick and span or whatever, just so we can have things to clean. And I just never did that. And believe me, we're going to do that now. It's going to be up on the priority list. We're going to maintain the food level we have and probably expand it.
Yeah, I want to do that. I told her when the garden hits this year, I said we're going to can morning, noon, and night this year.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, we're talking about it won't be quite double the size, doubling our garden size, but it'll be just about. It'll be like 90% increase in size. Yeah, we're moving a bunch of stuff in our backyard, and we're gonna cut across the entire back part of the backyard and increase. We have raised beds, so we'll put in. I think we have 14 or 16 raised beds right now, and I'll probably end up putting 12 more in. Space them out a little differently,
right?
You know, that's one thing. If anybody's planning a garden and you got an open spot and you want to do raised beds, plan it first, and over and over, and look at your plan and go, and then go out there and map it out somehow. Use trash bags or something to map it out, just so you get the feel of what. And then go, nah, I don't like that one over there, you know, whatever. Because I screwed up mine horribly, and I totally need to redo it. I was going to do that last year, but I wasn't able to. So, yeah, it's a mess now. But
yeah, we just started laying ours out, but we don't have raised beds, obviously. But we got the garden planted on paper right now. We have to physically go out there and make sure all our measurements and shit work out, but I think we're close. Getting ready to bust the turf. Yeah, so if you're new to the gardening idea, yeah, definitely sit down with pen and paper, or pencil and paper, and yeah, I'd use a pencil.
Plot
that.
Yeah, don't use plot that sucker out like you would, and make sure you're checking companion planting guides. There's some on 21st Century Prepper on the Facebook page and also on the Pinterest. Just look in the gardening section, and there's infographics on companion gardening, what goes with what and what doesn't go with what. There's stuff that don't like to grow next to each other, so double check that stuff. Other observations, the
boredom. It's been a thing here.
We haven't been too much because we're still working.
Right. Well, we had 4 days of crappy weather where we couldn't even leave the house and go outside and walk around the property or something like that just to stretch your legs. And it was like, that was a real thing. I thought, you know, we'd be glad, you know, sit in the house and bug in or whatever. Yeah, right. Let me tell you.
Everybody is saying that. A bunch of people that I'm friends with, prepper people, are like, holy cow, this is boring and dull.
I'm not one to watch TV to begin with, and like that has been our main piece of entertainment.
Yeah,
and it's like I just want to rip my fucking eyes out right now. Which I found.
Did you watch Tiger King yet?
Yeah, no, I did not. But I found this. I had this app on my TV. I've never used Voodoo, and they have have a free section, and I'm not paying for their app because I already subscribe to Netflix and Disney, and you know, God only freaking knows what else we got in there, but. I was just scrolling through it just to see what we had because, again, I was bored. Man, there's this whole section of old movies, like the 80s movies and 90s movies that we grew up on. The freaking Karate Kid's on there, Point Break's on there. It was like, oh, hell yeah, check this out. You know what I mean? And it may be available on Netflix. I've never looked, but just if you're bored, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's completely surprising to me that the number of prepper people are like, I'm bored out of my skull. I mean, I thought you were going to be chopping wood 24/7, whittling. Oh, you're too busy watching Netflix. You
Oh
bastards. I
yeah,
told you,
yeah.
those whittlers. And I'm going to be chopping wood 24/7, and I'm going to be walking Century Line. No, you're not going to be walking Century Line. You turn into a rant podcast real quick.
No, let's not do that.
Part 2. I labeled the last one Part 1, so there's a Part 2 coming. Yeah, so it's quite bizarre. I mean, and the only thing we can't do is drive around and go places.
Well, see,
But-
I'm pretty active. We're pretty active people. We go a lot of places.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
And now we can't. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
And it didn't help that it rained. Imagine
No,
if
it
it
was
was
terrible.
middle of winter and it was
yeah.
10 below
Yeah, for
where I
sure.
live, you know.
Well, that's
Um,
another thing I realized. I'm sitting there, and I have solar, that, and I have wind power and generation and the ability to really make some power. But I don't think I have enough now because, like, I've been watching just what we're using around the house the entire time through this, and it's like, 4 days of rain. The wind wasn't right. It was just rain. It wasn't a
Yeah,
nor'easter or
yeah.
anything. Like, we're gonna have a problem. So.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
might be looking at that a little harder.
Yeah, well, that's me in the winter here. I mean, I think one of the first years we had the December, we didn't see the sun the entire month.
Right.
Other than like 3 hours one afternoon. So it's like, how do you generate any power with solar doing that?
Yeah.
You don't. Not much.
Not much.
Um,
That's right. I mean, you get a little bit, but not to talk about.
Yeah. Not. Granted, in the winter we don't need to have refrigeration, so we're fine
Right.
because we just stick everything outside. And that's another thing. I'm definitely going to up our solar. I'm going to minimally double it, if not triple it, and then I'm going to get up to, I don't know how many batteries, probably 8 batteries,
That'd be good.
and then really start on a daily basis run some stuff off of it. We have 3 freezers.
Right.
I'm sorry, we have 2 freezers and 3 refrigerators. I'm thinking of moving the second refrigerator outside into the garage with the other freezer and running both of those off of it full time. That should be enough, I would
You
hope.
could probably do it. I know what you have. You could probably do it with the panels you have now, and that amount of batteries, or close to it anyway.
Yeah, we probably could. But it would be nice to be able, because of that time period, when it's
Right.
crap out
Right.
and you don't see the sun forever and ever and ever, to be able to still be able to generate and keep those batteries topped off. Plus, then we could obviously do anything else we want to do off of it also. So, and the other thing I'm gonna look into is heat. I have temporary heat figured out, but it's literally it would be maybe a month's
See,
worth of heat.
that's where you'd run into a problem with your solar, is trying to
Yeah.
run something like that, or I don't know if you're going to try and run 220 stuff, your stove or anything like that.
No,
but
it just the
It
big
eats it
buddy
up, man.
heaters.
yeah, anything electric heaters or anything like that. Even the coffee maker, believe it or not, puts a pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
load on that inverter.
But with
for a
the
hot
big
minute.
buddy heaters, all it does is fan. And you can run those off of D-size batteries.
Oh, I gotcha.
So with the big buddy heaters, it's just the electrical usage is only the fan
Right.
that pushes the heat. And I have plenty of 9-volt or D-size batteries. Did I
Gotcha.
say 9-volt before?
Yeah.
D-size batteries, and then I also have adapters to make double A's
Yeah, no D's. Yeah.
into D's.
Yeah.
And I have ways of charging rechargeable double A's. So
Well, I can tell you from personal experience as a kid when I had remote control cars that you can put them batteries that aren't rechargeable in a recharger, and as long as you don't overcharge them, they do work. Not that I'm going to recommend that to everybody, but
yep.
allegedly, hypothetically.
Allegedly, yeah, hypothetically, yeah, I've done that too. But so yeah, the power and heat is going to be garden is going to be greatly increased.
Homemade canned goods here is going to be top priority this year, and I hope to maintain that going forward. What
was that?
Homemade canned goods. That's a really big priority for me this year. And I want to, whatever we make, I want to keep going year after year. Because, you can't go buy meat right now. There's just none. There's no ground beef. You can forget that. There is absolutely no ground beef. Even that shitty log roll that comes in Walmart, the 70-30 or whatever it is.
70-30, and it's like 10 pounds.
Yeah, you ain't getting it. You just aren't getting it. So it's crazy.
Yeah, see, we're seeing a whole totally different thing here.
There's nothing here, man. It's
as far as meat goes.
It's scary what's going on here in these grocery stores. There was pictures today after our governor put us on lockdown today, total lockdown, and there was a line at Costco or something in Baltimore. It was around the building again, and I don't understand the thinking because we're still allowed to go get groceries,
Yeah. Well, I think isn't that part of the limiting how many people are in the store at one time?
Yeah, 25. They're putting 25 in the store at a time.
25?
Yes.
Okay. So, but yeah, here we're still meandering through the grocery store together.
Yeah.
So, people at Walmart on Friday had their kids with them, and
not here.
Family was shopping. Yeah, other places, one person and time limits and.
It was kind of sombering when we went to the store because, everybody was wearing masks or gloves. I was wearing gloves. I did wear my gloves. And, everybody kind of, had their head down and kept to themselves. And, you didn't hear kids playing and talking. It was just you could have heard a pin drop on the other side of the store. It was just, you could tell it was a very tense situation. It was...
Yeah,
was
see,
crazy.
we don't have that. Granted, we're in a small rural area. I mean, the town we go to, it's got the Walmart, is 8,000 people, and we're 3,500. So it's a weird situation.
It is definitely weird. I know one thing. Forget the gold and the silver. Forget the gold and the silver for prepping. I'm buying fucking Charmin. It's happening. I'm telling you, I'm going to have a sea container of that stuff in the backyard. It's going to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely another one, too, that I'm going to make sure we have. I'm not going to go nuts on it, but we generally only have maybe a big case that we get at Walmart or Costco.
Right.
We generally have one of those, and once it gets down to a quarter of what's left, then I go buy another one. I may just have one and extra, then once I get down to 1 1/4, then I might go get another one because I'm not gonna go nuts on TP, but it's just something I probably want to have a little extra of.
Well, the city here, it's so bad. The city has had to warn residents, not my city, but one of the major cities around me, Salisbury, to not flush paper towels and baby wipes down the toilet because they keep jamming up the damn sewer system.
Yeah. Don't flush anything but toilet paper down the toilet. Please don't.
They got limits on baby wipes here and everything because people are using that instead. It's pretty rough. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's a crazy.
It didn't go down how we expected, did it? At least for me, it didn't.
No.
We always said there's going to be a run on the liquor stores, run on the cigarettes, the snacks, and snacks are the one thing you can get here. I can go down the snack aisle and it looks like nothing's changed. I guess because there's so much of them locally made and Yeah, and
it's a daily refill.
Right.
Snacks and how's the bread situation? Bread should be.
Bread was bad a week and a half ago. I did go to the store, I'm going to say Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember which day. And there was bread and hamburger rolls. That was all. But it was there.
See, and we had kind of a slowdown here, and it was like, why is the bread not being filled? The
Right.
bread's out. But, because I mean, they're baking now for tomorrow,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So why weren't they keeping up with it? But I'm guessing maybe they didn't have enough supply on hand
Could be.
of flours and that kind of stuff, so they had to get flour in, and then they could up there. Plus, they had to replenish everybody that was out.
Everybody's panic buying it. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
and so they had a lot to. But now our bread was completely full the last time I was in there, and it was completely full today. So bread is back up. That kind of for people just tuning in for the first time and haven't listened to any podcasts, I worked for a small grocery chain in Minnesota for 15 years. To the day, it was 15 years to the day, and I was part of my duty for most of those 15 years was ordering. When we ordered by hand, and I typed this up in one of my other private group. But what's taken so long with this stuff is the point of sale system that most places have. Walmart, especially lately, they started shifting 2 years ago or last year, where our store here that we shop at has a lot less stuff on the shelf now than it used to, variety-wise. And not like Walmart was known for their variety, but there's even less now. Especially like in the frozen pizza section, there's like 12 feet of what the hell is that?
God, we don't have that problem here. You got a whole aisle of them here.
We had 12 feet of just Jack's pizza. Jack is a medium low quality pizza,
right?
And like one door of DiGiorno, and then one door of some Walmart brand, and then the Totino's party pizzas. And that's it. I mean, there's still 24 feet of pizza, but half of it is one variety.
Yeah, we don't.
And there was some tombstone.
We don't have that here.
But so they've been cutting, and our baked beans is literally bush baked beans and one other kind, and that's it. So that's like 16 feet of bush beans, and it's not all full because you don't want that many. You don't need 16 feet of bush beans on your shelf. All up probably right now they could. But with point of sale and not only does it work for in the store, but it also helps in the warehouse. Let's say this warehouse handles 25 stores, and each store sells product A an average of 50 a week. Well, so then they need so many of product A to fill up each store for a week, and then they need so much in the warehouse to fill up those stores for another week, and then they keep bringing it in. That way, it's rotated. That way, you don't have money sitting in the back room. Blah 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 blah. But when you have panic buying, and it goes from 50 to 200, and then stops, it doesn't. It takes a while, and if it doesn't get human interaction, it takes a while for the computer to catch up. And now you had, all of a sudden, instead of 50, you sold 200, and then you sold none for a couple of days because it's out. The computer knows it's out, but it can't. Now the average hasn't really changed because you sold 200 real quick, but then you sold none for a couple of days. So let's say it goes up to now, it's saying the average is 55 a week. Instead of so it's only going to send you 55 of them to replenish what it thinks you sold on average. But even though your shelf is empty and you can hold 200 on the shelf, unless a human interacts and says, no, we need 200.
Right.
It's not going to get filled very quickly. And that's what's happening with this. Imagine having to go through and hand change orders for 25 stores.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then your warehouse doesn't have them anyway because your warehouse also works off of that point of sale system. So the warehouse only had so much for a week, and now all of a sudden one store took all of it. Now 24 other stores don't get anything, or they divide it between the 24 stores, and you only get your normal 1 case of it or 2 cases of it that you normally sell, and then it comes in and then it's sold and gone immediately. So then the average still doesn't get fixed because you're out again. So now with this 2 grocery stores we have in town, they still hand order.
Right.
The person walks through the grocery store and they know everything. Believe me, we're creatures of habit. We buy the same shit every time we go to the grocery store, for the most part. And so you got to know. I knew Tuesday's order was going to be right around this much. I knew Thursday's order was going to be around this much. I knew Saturday's order was going to be about this much, because people shop the same days, same times, bought the same crap. And then when we finally got a point of sale system, guess what the numbers were? They were about right where I thought they were in my head.
I saw the funniest thing on Facebook, and I'm sure you'd appreciate it. It said, "Dear grocery store owners, the shit that's left on the shelves, don't order any more of it ever."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, I was walking through our frozen meat section, like the frozen fish and frozen bratwursts and that kind of stuff, completely and utterly full, right? Now, granted, so is the regular meat, but yeah, if something didn't sell during a mass panic, don't carry it anymore. You don't need it.
You know what I found funny? My arch
was that picture of that fake hamburger crap?
Oh yeah. No, I saw this firsthand. My arch nemesis was still on the shelf. There was not a freaking canned good left, but there was still Vienna sausages. They were still freaking there, man. So, I thought that was classic right there.
So that's why this shit is taking so long to get this stuff back on the shelf, is because not that we don't have it, not that there's a shortage in the world of beans or diced tomatoes. It's because the computer doesn't know it needs it that fast, and it takes the human to come in there and go, oh, wait a minute. And if they don't fix it next year at this time, they're going to be screwed, because all of a sudden their warehouses are going to be ordering shit in that they don't need. Yeah. Because it happens. See, at holiday time, you sell a lot, especially Thanksgiving, you sell a lot of more canned vegetables and all that kind of stuff. You need pumpkin ordered in before Thanksgiving. You don't need as much pumpkin in April.
Right.
Obviously. Because like 80% of the pumpkin sells in November.
Yeah.
So you don't need... someone brought up, we were out of powdered milk in one of the grocery stores. They put it online. Well, the store's looking pretty good except for toilet paper, and they're out of powdered milk. Well, powdered milk only had 1 facing.
Yeah.
And it was 1 case. And a case of powdered milk is 8. So, obviously, 8 people bought, or at least 8 of them sold. Maybe 1 person bought all 8. But, and normally you sell 1 of those every 3 months. So any computer is going to go, holy shit, you sold 8, what the hell?
Yeah, right.
And now instead of your average being 1 quarter per month, is now 1 per month. So it's still not going to order. Granted, it's going to order because it's out, but it's not going to order it quickly again if you get all the 1 case in and that sells right away. It's still not going to order.
Well, I have to.
It's a wonderful system to keep your inventory down and to get accurate stuff on your shelf. If everything is mapped out accordingly and your shelf quantities are right, it's a great system. But when stuff like this happens, the human factor has really got to be in the ball.
I wonder if around like these parts and the East Coast, if it's possibly got some kind of exemption to it, because there's panic buying before storms, hurricanes and such. So.
And they could, they may have
fine-tuned it.
And they may have the ability. Now, when I worked for Walmart and I used to run the toy department, I could only order so many items. I have 4,000 some items in the toy department, and I could only order like a few hundred of them.
Right.
But everything else came automatically.
Gotcha.
I loved ordering pool stuff for January I'm like, we're in Minnesota. We don't need pool stuff. Luckily, they wouldn't. Luckily, someone in Bentonville, Arkansas, knew that Minnesota did not need pool stuff in January. So then we'd at least get it. We'd get it in like April.
Right.
But Florida would get. They'd have pool stuff in their ad in January. So, but not here, thankfully.
Well, I'd like to throw a little tip out since we brought up the milk. Throw a hat tip to my other half, and we froze milk. That's the first time I've ever done it.
You still got me frightened, man. I know.
It's just the same. I just took another gallon out of there the day before yesterday. It is just now thawed because it's a solid block of ice when you put it in the fridge. It's just now thawed. It turned yellow in the freezer. It was a yellow color, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be bad." Drank it, and it's fine. Tastes just like the day it came out of the grocery store.
Huh.
And according to her, now, and I don't know if I haven't had it happen, but according to her, if you buy it and it's got 7 days left before it expires, you have 7 days left before it expires once you pull it out of the fridge.
Okay.
So, and I'm telling you, I'm a milk drinker. I drink a lot of milk, and it is 100% the same as when you put it in.
So you're gonna open up a shelf on your freezer just for milk now?
Yeah. Well, I was big on the Gosner box milk, and I still have a bunch of it here. So that's my reserve because it's shelf stable.
We have one, and it's like 5 years old, and it's been opened. So I'm not sure. Thinking it's probably.
It's probably that's probably green in a solid of some sort right now.
Yeah, so I wasn't too worried about it, but I would probably only use powdered milk for using if it had to be added to a recipe.
I'm not talking powdered milk. I'm talking about that shelf-stable milk that Dollar Tree sells in the box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that shit's awesome, man. I mean, a lot of people don't like it because it's kind of got a vanilla-y taste to it, but I like it, and in a pinch for cooking or whatever, I'll use it in a heartbeat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe I'll have to experiment with that. Not that I'm not taking your word for it, but I'm going to have to experiment myself on milk.
No, I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but I did use 2%. I don't know if whole milk.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. Skim would definitely. That's mostly water anyway.
Yeah.
But we drink 1%.
There you go.
Most of the time. So, what else have we noticed? It's really surreal.
Right, you honestly want to know what I've noticed? Every one of my neighbors this week has been out shooting.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Huh.
Several times, and maybe that's just out of sheer boredom. I don't know if it's that or their, little internal clock saying, if anybody comes around here, I want to make sure I'm well tuned and trained. I don't know, but every one of my neighbors has shot numerous times this week, including people that don't typically shoot.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I loaded up some mags today, but
I took the other half out and got her trained on a 9mm.
Yeah, I gotta do that. Well, maybe we probably won't run out to the range just because we're not supposed to be out about. But maybe I'll run out to the in-laws or something. They've got acreage. We can put a few rounds through. Get the kids out. They've never shot the ARs, so maybe I'll get the kids out and shoot the ARs. So. See what else? We said before, never expected it to be like this.
Right.
It's just totally bizarre.
Yeah, everything that we planned for in our minds went to shit. At least in mine. It definitely didn't happen here, at least. The run on the grocery stores, if you would have been in it early, you could have got everything you needed while everybody was buying the dumb shit like toilet paper,
Yeah.
I was 2 weeks behind everybody on getting my hands, 2 weeks in front of everybody, should I say, because we got our hand sanitizer and face masks weeks ahead of everybody else because, Pete, we were talking from the...
Yeah, we started talking like day 2.
Day 2, yeah. So we
are like, hey, have you seen this thing in China?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. And then the oh shit.
Yeah. It just... I said in the last podcast, I had this feeling back last fall. We had just gotten the dog, so I was walking a lot with the dog, and when you're walking, you got nothing to do but think, and when you're by yourself, and I just had this bizarre feeling that I needed to do a little bit more, so I upped our food prep. I probably tripled it. I like to I go up and then I let it, I let it fall down and then I go back up, because it's all stuff we use. So
Right.
it's just, it's just hangs there and we use it and it gets down to, 2 jars of spaghetti sauce and I'm like, well, I better go get some. So then the next time we're at Walmart, I buy like 6, but, and the pasta, I think I sent you guys the picture of my pasta the one time.
Yeah.
My wife's like, my wife and kids are like, are we really going to eat all that pasta? I'm like, not in the next week, but maybe in the next, 6 months we will.
Yeah, see, again, you can't buy pasta or rice here. There's none. There's just none.
Huh,
I mean, of
that's
rice.
crazy.
Who.
Oh, one tip for people. I mentioned it, I think, in a message to you guys the other day. Don't just look on the shelf. Look at end caps. Because I literally walked by the tomato section. The canned tomato section was completely wiped out and bare, except
Decimated.
for a few can. There was like one case of like Italian diced tomatoes or something, and it was like the Walmart generic brand. And there were a couple cans here, a couple cans there. Go to the end cap. I mean, and it's not like the back end cap. It was like the main one facing the main aisle,
Right.
walking down between clothing and
Yeah.
food. And one half of the end cap is, and the pasta was wiped out on the shelf.
Absolutely.
One half of the end cap is pasta, and the other half of the end cap is freaking Rotel tomato stuff. And then on the bottom they had diced tomatoes, the Walmart brand diced tomatoes.
Right.
It's like, people, look on the end cap. It's right here. I've never liked end caps. When I worked in the grocery, I didn't fill the end caps that we had with ad on it. I never filled them because no one bought off of them.
Right.
Because they just they didn't. People didn't look at the end cap and buy off of it. So I would take stuff off the end cap and put it on the shelf and have a bare. Made it look good on the end cap, but because the boss would always think we had to have the end cap full. But no. So look at end caps and look at any displays in the middle. You may find some stuff because everybody buys off the shelf. It's creature of habit. We're creatures of habit. We go to the shelf. That's where it is. It's empty. Oh, they don't have any, and you walk away. But yeah, and also look up on the there's
Up on
now
the top
started putting
shelf, yeah.
overstock up on top.
Yeah. Up on
I
top.
find stuff up on the shelf all the time because the employees don't have enough time, or there's not enough of them. There's shit up on the top shelf for overstock, and I find stuff up there all the time. And step on the bottom thing and reach up there and grab one. Be careful, don't drop it on your head. So yeah, there's lots of other stuff. Obviously, ammunition. I'm probably gonna bump up. Probably gonna double my amount that I have.
Yeah, I'm good there. I can always use a couple more boxes for like my 380 and stuff like that, but I don't typically carry that, so the main guns that I would use if I needed them, I'm pretty well good on that. I did think about cleaning supplies the other day because I busted down my handgun and went through it pretty good, and I have a fair amount, but I was one of those neighbors that was shooting this week. So,
Maybe, did you start it? Were you
no,
the first
I
one
actually
to go
did not. Believe it or
okay.
not, the one who started it was one who typically you might hear him go out there right before hunting season and sight in his rifle, and that's about it.
Yeah,
that was
pop off a few before.
And then there's an older gentleman that lives across the street, and he's in his late 70s, and you very seldom hear him shooting. He had some kind of handgun out there, and he was cacking her off the other day.
I could not do that here. My neighbors would complain.
No, we're legal here. We are definitely legal.
I can't do it in my yard.
We are definitely legal.
My 1/8 of an acre yard, I can't go out in my backyard and pop off with my 45.
I used to have a shitty neighbor. Thankfully, I had a new neighbor move in there who's pretty damn cool. But I used to have a shitty neighbor who one time called the police on me for shooting, and we kind of had a war of the neighbors thing going on, and the sheriff that showed up here happened to be a good friend of mine, and didn't. He wound up going in the backyard and shooting with me. So, that kind of silenced that one.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I won't call about that anymore, will I?
Yeah. Well, that's just it. It's 100% legal here. That was one of the reasons this property was bought, was because it is within our legal rights for everybody to shoot here. You know, all of my neighbors and myself. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, another one. Definitely, and this is one I'm going to start preaching after this is all said and done, even more than I already was before. Financial prep. Finances right now.
Yeah.
Got to get on it. I mean, we're sitting pretty good, but obviously, we don't know when the end is going to happen.
That's the scary question: is when is the end of this?
Yeah. So, we will be decreasing our debt as quickly as humanly possible, and we will be increasing our savings. We eat out a lot just because of our business, because end of the day comes and we're like, don't want to fix anything, let's go eat. So we eat out a lot, and it's kind of funny because we have very few restaurants in town that are open past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So the choices here are limited, but we still eat out quite a bit. And we are going to, we may go splurge a couple of times after.
Especially after this shit.
Cook for 4 months or whatever all this ends up being. 2 months or whatever till the restaurants are open. Restaurants here are closed until May.
They are open here still for carryout.
1st. Oh yeah, it's just carryout here too.
Yeah.
We'll be foregoing that a lot, and after that, and because we do it before we go on vacation, just to save up cash for vacation, and it saves up quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Real quick. I mean, we can easily drop. Well, there's 4 of us. We can easily drop $80 to $100 here.
Say that's $100.
Yeah. So at a time, and if we go out 4 times a month, that's $400. I mean, that's crazy. That's $400 we could put towards something else. So we're definitely going to up our financial prep and get what bills we do have paid off, and start dumping more cash into savings and a few other things that are tangible that we can get our hands on it real quick, as opposed to a 401k or a Roth IRA or something like that. We'll still obviously continue to do those, but to be able to have ready cash that doesn't cost you a lot to get. You can cash in your 401k today, but you're going to pay 15% on it. So we'll be looking. We have a pretty good financial guy that we deal with. I'm going to be looking for some funds someplace where you can get the cash out and still make more than 0.25% like you do at the bank.
Boy, there was a hell of a run on the banks today after the governor announced that shit here. Yeah. I took the car out just because, it's probably the last time for a while. I'm going to be taking it out just for a cruise, and just drove down through my town and the next couple towns, and man, there was a hell of a line at them drive-thrus. And I could see it on a Friday or something like that, but this is Monday morning, and there was 25 or 30 people in line. Now, granted, they have the lobby shut down, so they're probably going. The lines are going to be a little longer than normal anyway. It's drive-through, but
seeing that kind of perplexes me on this. I know that people worry about the banks failing and all. I don't see the banks failing, and if you go to a federally insured bank, I'd be dumping cash into my bank account because I have to pay my bills.
And you don't want to touch nasty ass cash right now.
Yeah, and like our grocery stores here in town can't keep cash right now. They're only taking debit and credit cards.
I have
And-
not seen that yet. I've
and
I've
EBT
seen
cards.
posts. Yeah, I've seen posts about places not taking cash, but I haven't personally went. I haven't gone anywhere
Yeah.
really, but like 3 stores
Yeah.
in the past 3 weeks. So
Yeah, so I feel like taking some of our cash reserve that we have and going to the bank and depositing it,
Right.
so we have electronic funds to send out.
Right.
I mean, we still have to pay our bills, so the money's stopped coming in as much. We're down about half, but we still got our bills to pay, and we could take some of our cash reserve and go deposit it and then use it to pay our bills. So I'm perplexed by the run on banks because, oh my God, I'm worried that the banks are going to fail, but so I'm going to run and get my cash out. Well, you're
you're
helping
creating the
the
problem.
bank to
Yeah.
fail. And banks only have so much cash at one time. They're not sitting there on millions and millions of dollars, unlike movies they show. They're only sitting on a few $100,000, if that. Depends on how big the branch is, and they can order more money for the next day.
Right.
But it's. My dad was a banker for 55 years, so
I'll
banks
tell
are
you
good.
the other store. The next busiest store in town aside from Walmart was freaking Home Depot. I guess because everybody was trying to get their shit for their home projects.
Oh
Our
yeah,
Home Depot
I
was
should
packed.
go get some stuff, but
I don't want to go around no people. I'm sorry, but like the hermit in me is coming out. I've been practicing for this for 35 years, and I'm in good shape.
so okay. Well, I think
Yes.
that's probably about it. Far longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, she's 52 minutes.
Real quick one. Never as quick. So yeah, anybody out there, just take notes. I've been trying to take some notes.
Yes.
Of what you see, what you're missing, what you're lacking, ideas that pop in your head, what you could do. Make some notes. So when all this is said and done, and it will be, and we'll all be fine, and on the road to recovery, and you could implement those plans to increase whatever, and don't go out and rush and buy 5 things of toilet paper early.
Right.
Just go buy one.
Yeah.
And then go back the next week and buy another one, and then go back.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the big ass ones.
The 48
Big
pack, the
rolls.
big ass Charmin 48 pack. I saw something funny on the internet. Somebody thought they were ordering a case of 48 rolls, and they wound up ordering like 4,800 rolls on accident.
Oh, whoops.
It showed up at their freaking house. Can you imagine that? And actually, I saw a really funny one today. The Wish advertisement that you see on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
They were advertising Chinese toilet paper. I thought that was freaking great. That was classic. Yeah.
I tell you. So yeah. So make notes, and then that way you can plan a little better for. Hopefully not the next time, but that's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we're here for. Maybe it won't be a pandemic. Maybe you'll just be unemployed and won't have to deal with any sickness. It'll just be your job disappeared. Or maybe you get ill and it's not not because of the coronavirus. Maybe it's because whatever, you get cancer or something. Or break both of your legs and you can't work. So, something's always happening somewhere.
Yeah, I got a
It
couple.
seems.
I got a
This
couple
is
little
the new.
things
This is
also.
the new one for us.
Yeah.
So,
I got a couple things also. First, we'll do the wash your damn hands, please.
oh yes, wash your hands.
Please stay home, because if you're not, and if you're out being with people, you're part of the problem, and you're spreading this shit around. And don't eat freaking bats. Just don't do it. Okay? there's no good idea that comes out of eating a bat. That's not a hold my beer thing. Just don't eat a fucking bat. All right.
Yeah. No bad eating.
Check on your elderly neighbors. You know, I have a couple friends that I talk to on the radio, and they're high risk. You know, if you're going to the grocery store, give them a call, find out if they need anything. You can literally throw it in their driveway as you're driving by. You know.
Yeah.
It's our turn to take care of people, and
or throw some gloves on, take some Lysol wipes, wipe the box down, wipe the whatever, and then put it on their doorstep, and they can leave it out there for a little bit, and then they can retrieve it.
And right now, as preppers, is our time to look like really rational people that had our shit together. Please portray that image to other people and explain to them this is the reason why you need to have this, this, and this, and it's not because the fucking aliens are coming and, you know, EMPs out of fucking North Korea or something like that. This is our time to shine and look like real, honest-to-goodness, sensible people. So, even if you're not an honest-to-goodness, sensible person, at least play one on TV.
Yeah, yes, please. Don't go in the Walmart to go see if they got any toilet paper and strap in your AR-15.
Right.
Okay, leave it at home. You can go conceal carry if you can conceal carry, and go for it. But walking in with your body armor on and an AR over your shoulders,
you're gonna look like a fucking moron anyway.
So, so don't be part of the problem. So, let's call it a night.
Yes.
A quick 20-minute one.
Yeah, 56 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.